Bill Katz, and I'm here to show you the benefits of cooking cat food for your cats. Why would you want to do that? Because it's much more nutritional than what you buy as factory food in supermarkets, and it costs a whole lot less. And that's the point that a lot of people don't understand, is that if you make your own cat food sourced from chicken thighs and put in all the ingredients, it's going to be quite a bit cheaper than the worst stuff that you might buy in a supermarket. So that's why I'm here. Whether you have one cat or 7 cats like I do, and I have to go through this about every 2 weeks because they eat up quite a bit, I'm sold on it. I was schooled by 2 places online, and I'll have this information on the screen later, but catinfo.org and catnutrition.org. I recall one of these individuals saying in her blog that if I can do it, you can do it. And that was like, that one sentence inspired me many years ago to say, okay, then that must mean I can do it, because I'm not a chef in the kitchen, but I can get around. So I've done it, and you can do it too if you're interested. Now, what I do there's so many different things. You can use turkey, you can use chicken, you can use other animals. I just use chicken thigh, sourced at Costco, and Costco isn't paying me to suggest this, but I get the best prices, and I'm assured of good product from that store. And I buy around, I don't know, about 30 pounds of it. I have to cook it, because you don't want to feed it raw, any of your cat's raw food, because there's a bacteria, and it might actually only be a little bit of bacteria, but if there's any bacteria in it and they eat it, you're in for some difficult veterinary costs. So they advise to cook it for 10 or 15 minutes. I cook mine for 50 minutes to make sure that any bacteria is off. After cooking in my stove, I refrigerate it, and then I take it out to grind. The bone is ground with it. About 75% of the bone remains in the food. The other 25% is taken out. And I just want to then just show you the mechanics of this. After I make all this product up to 25 to 30 pounds, I put them in bell jars and I freeze them, except for the ones that I'm going to use in the next 3 days. They come down in my refrigerator shelf. So I just like to go through the process and showing you. I use a meat grinder. This Weston 12 is not supposed to be used to grind bones, but we all know that it can grind bones, but the manufacturer would never give it a green light. But it works very, very fine. And I'll probably go there afterwards, but I can express that the ingredients that are necessary in this concoction are taurine, which is a necessary ingredient for cat. I put in a certain amount of B complex, fish oil is part of it, vitamin E, and light salt, and chicken liver. There's a certain quantity of chicken liver that should be put into the ingredient mix. All right, so I'm peeling off some of the bone, but I have to get it down so that I can push it into my grinder. I also remove most of the fat, not all of it. Now, the recipe calls for leaving the fat on, but it's a real optional thing. My cats are not skinny, and fat content, skin will give them more fat, but they're already pretty healthy creatures. So I just remove it. It's my own thing. But again, I have to emphasize there are two websites, and one is catnutrition.org, and you'll find all the recipe, all the advice. You'll probably be tired of reading of it, but it's wonderful reading, and I still go back to it after 10 years. Okay, so what we're going to do, put this in here. We're going to throw in, I try to put in some of the chicken liver to mix it in. After I have to hand stir this. And so now I need to go over here. So I'm going to grind it. And I'm just going to finish up this pan, and then I'll be able to get into mixing the ingredients in, and then filling the bell jars. I use regular bell jars that you can find at any supermarket, when I push the final product into the bell jars, I don't mush it down, because if you mush it down and it freezes, you'll crack the jar. So you have to kind of leave it very, very with air holes, air pockets in it, so that you don't crack the bell jars. So as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, what else can I say? Interesting, my first cat, I didn't have cats as a child, but my first cat came walking down my street in 2002, and I took her in and started feeding her, dry kibble. And I thought, boy, I'm feeding her a very good, more expensive brand of dry kibble. Well, news accounts came up in the newspapers that a certain ingredient that was being imported from Asia killed up to 4,000 animals, pets in this country. And it was due to ingredients that were added to dry kibble. And that's when I got the idea and the desire to make my own, and hence. Okay, so yeah, we're almost done with this. tell you that this normally you would throw out, right? It's full of nutrients. So that's going to get sent into my grinder. It's a messy affair. But it's all done for the love of. So what I've done here is this is a mixture of water, of course, the base, and it has taurine, which is a necessary ingredient. I'm putting in vitamin E, vitamin B complex, light salt, and fish oil. And this is all mixed together in a little potpourri. And get my thing back. Well, I'm squeezing the liquids out. Now, you know, these capsules could be ground into the food. They're not toxic, but I'm just accustomed to just heating them up and squeezing the liquid out and doing it all at once rather than pinholing each one. It could take a long time. So we kind of little tricks of the trade to expedite this process. But that's what I'm doing, and it looks like I got most of it. Okay. All right. I have in there. Yeah, it's all right. My hand is my mixture. I don't have an expensive device to do the mixing, so now it all gets put into the chicken. There's there's a recipe for how much water you add to the chicken. But rather than bore you with the details, if you open up one of those websites that I mentioned, it has the specifics on how much of everything that you add to this to make it viable cat food for your special cats. All right, so now I'm going to put these in bell jars and mostly freeze them and take them out of the freezer and put into the refrigerator as needed. And as you can see, I don't want to force, I want air bubbles in here because if I push it down to maximize the amount of weight, they'll break. So there's a lot of air bubbles in here. So we'll do that. And I only learned that by cracking a few bottles, a few cans, jars. Learn the hard way. There's a vet online that is using the same recipe that I use, and he freeze dries. He has a unique thing. He freeze dries the food, and he sells it for a god awful amount of money, and he's probably doing quite well. But better to give your cats fresh food. It's better for you to do it and save money because. Really, this is about, I'm going to very much rough it now. I don't stay up on the pricing, but I'm going to figure that it costs about no more than $2 a pound after removing stuff, after adding stuff, and the cost of the ingredients. It's around $2 a pound. You don't get that in the supermarkets, that pricing. Okay, so see again, there's a whole lot of ear pockets in there that prevents this from cracking. So in my freezer, I have a whole drawer that I can put in 25 to 30 jars. And while that might sound like a lot, it only lasts 2 weeks. 2 jars per day. Voila. That's your chore for the day if you so choose. I have to very much invite you though to go to catnutrition.org or catinfo.org and read about what Dr. Lisa Pearson talks about and Ann Jablonski. You know, what I'd like to do is recite to you a poem that's going to be coming out in my forthcoming book, Cats on Cats and Other Animal Tales. And it's called Cat Food for Thought. Cats are obligate carnivores. In front of fresh meat, they purr and roar. Helps them grow around the home, the feline's neighborhood to roam. Dry kibble might be on their plates, filled with tasty carbohydrates. It fattens up these feline mates with unneeded extra weight. They won't complain with this feed, for they speak another tongue. They may not even feel much strain at first, churning in their tongues. But as they age, you can bet their kidneys will inflame. With urinary tract infections, another daily pain. Diabetes, bowel disease, and obesity await these loving cats if you allow the pet food industry to guide you with their facts. Felines survive but cannot thrive on grains and vegetables, with this dreadful manufactured food designed to keep their bellies full. Thanks very much.